Ancient Hindu texts, the Upanishads, contain some of the earliest references to lucid dreaming, specifically the Hindu tradition of spiritual sleep called Yoga Nidra, a practice to remain conscious during the sleep cycle, a state of deep relaxation where the body sleeps but the mind remains awake, observing dream images as an unattached witness. In a sense, a practice where you gently drift from wakefulness into sleep without losing consciousness. It is like being asleep and awake at the same time. Now, when I say without losing consciousness, here is what I mean. In most of my lucid dreams, I first fall asleep like anyone else. I lose awareness, start dreaming, and then somewhere inside that dream, something shifts. Maybe it's a strange detail or a sudden realization, and boom, I recognize that I'm dreaming. That moment of lucidity hits. But here's the tricky part. Staying in that lucid state, it's a delicate balance. Not getting too excited, not waking up and trying to hold on to that awareness while the dream world swirls around you. But with Yoga Nidra, it's different. You never lose consciousness in the first place. You're guided into deeper and deeper layers of relaxation, yet your awareness stays intact the whole time. That to me is kind of a superpower. And the best part, I truly believe it's something we can all learn with practice, with patience, and with a little curiosity. I'm working toward it, and honestly, I find that journey incredibly exciting. Yoga Nidra was a practice to experience the unity of Atman, which is the universal consciousness, the essence of existence, beyond the illusions of dream imagery which are one way or another a manifestation of the ego. I think I'm beginning to understand what it really means when people say our dreams are in some way a manifestation of the ego. Let me take you into one of my own experiences. I was in a dream, running. The world around me was dark, moonless, damp, almost swamp-like. The ground was soft and uneven under my feet. Fog gripped to the trees like a ghost, and behind me, chasing me without rest, was this thing, a monster. It had the twisted torso of a man, long limbs, with claws. Its eyes glowed a sickly yellow and its mouth too wide. It didn't speak, but it screamed. It screamed like hell. Honestly, when I think about it now, I've been watching a lot of movies at that time. Anyway, I was panting. My chest was tight. My legs burned. My body was sleek with sweat. I could feel the raw panic tightening around my ribs. There was no help, no escape, just endless running, endless fear. And in that moment, I was inside the fear. I was the fear. I was the fear. My entire identity, everything I thought I was in that dream was reduced to this fragile ego, a helpless person being haunted by something she could not escape. It defined me. The terror wasn't just emotional, it was physical. It lived in my bones. But then something shifted. Even in the middle of all that, a thought came in, soft, almost like a whisper. This isn't real. I said it again, more desperately this time. This isn't real. And in that sliver of doubt, a light broke through. I'm dreaming! Just like that, my awareness shifted. The fear didn't vanish, but I was no longer inside it. I was watching it, detached, as if I had stepped back from the screen and was now seeing the whole thing as a kind of virtual reality. It was like sitting in a dark theater, watching this nightmare unfold in front of me. The screen was curved around me in full 3D, immersive. And yet I was out of it, not the helpless girl anymore, not the haunted prey. I was just aware. It was wild. The shift from being consumed by fear to simply witnessing it was profound. And in that moment, I understood this is how the ego writes our stories, even in dreams. But the awareness behind it, that's something deeper, something freer. So in Yoga Nidra, since you never actually lose consciousness as your body falls asleep, when your brain starts to generate floating scenes, you're already awake, aware. You're not getting lost in the dream. You're witnessing sleep from the very beginning as that quiet, detached awareness. It's like watching the mind paint while knowing you're not the painting. You're the one watching the brush. And honestly, that's so cool. And I cannot wait to experience something like that again. So here is how I've come to understand it. Yoga Nidra isn't just about deep rest. It's a practice that gently peels you away from the ego, from the tight little version of yourself that's constantly reacting to thoughts, emotions, and sensations. You know, the part of us that gets caught in fear, stress, desire, identity. Instead, Yoga Nidra guides you into something deeper, into what Hindu philosophy calls Atman, your true self. Not the self that's tangled in illusion, not the one that feels isolated, small, or separate, but the self that's vast, connected. Because in this tradition, Atman isn't just your truth. It's the same essence that flows through everything. And when you drop into that awareness, that still, spacious presence, you start to feel it. The sense that you're not separate from the universe, you are it. That moment when you feel that unity, that's what they call self-realization. There are accounts of this self-realization, of what Yoga Nidra can reveal. In yogic legends, there is the story of a sage named Narada. So who was Narada? Narada wasn't born the way we think of ordinary humans being born. He was what ancient Hindu texts call a mind-born sage, a being created directly from the thoughts of the god Brahma, the creator. In Hindu tradition, there are three main cosmic forces: Vishnu, the preserver who maintains balance in the universe; Shiva, the destroyer, though not in a negative sense, but a sacred destruction, clearing away what no longer serves so something new can emerge; and Brahma, the one who designs and builds the universe. He's like the architect of existence. And Narada, as one of his mind children, didn't come to the world through physical birth. No parents in a human sense. He simply came into existence, fully formed, full of insight, and with a mission to serve as a cosmic messenger, bringing insights and nudging people toward truth. In the stories, he moves freely across all realms of existence: the heavens, where the gods reside, the earthly plane, where we live, and even the underworld, filled with serpents, spirits, and other mysterious beings. He travels between worlds not through dreams or spaceships, but simply because he can. He has the ability to travel instantly, like teleporting across dimensions. Narada always carried his Veena, A veena is an ancient Indian stringed instrument, one of the oldest in the world. It's long, with a hollow body, frets, and usually 7 to 24 strings. It produces a resonant sacred sound, often associated with devotion and meditation. It's used in classical Indian music even today and is associated with Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom and music. Narada's veena is symbolic. It represents not just music, but the idea that sound itself is a path to the divine. He is often shown chanting Narayana, Narayana, a name of Vishnu, while playing the veena and traveling the cosmos. Sound was his path, a way to reach truth. Once, he entered a deep state of meditation, like in Yoga Nidra, a state so still, so quiet, it said he sank beyond his body, beyond his mind, even beyond his sense of self. In the language of Yoga Nidra, this is where the ego dissolves, where you're no longer caught up in thoughts or emotions or even identity. And in that place, Narada didn't see visions. He didn't meet a god or get words of wisdom. Instead, he heard something, a sound, but not a sound made by any instrument or mouth or movement. It was called the Anahata Nada, which means the unheard sound or the unstruck sound. A primordial vibration, the hum beneath everything, the music that plays when the universe is quiet. And in that sound, Narada would feel something awaken, not excitement, not fear, just a vast, glowing stillness, a sense that everything was made of this one eternal pulse. He was hearing the source. In legends, he didn't try to explain this in 1,000 words. Instead, he sang. And through his music, he shared what words couldn't say. That this whole universe is vibrating. That you are part of that vibration. And that somewhere, beyond all the noise of daily life, you can hear it too. That's what some traditions say happens in deepest states of Yoga Nidra. You don't just rest, you return to the source. So simply noticing you're dreaming and becoming lucid in your dream, I'm talking about myself here, of course, though cool, by these accounts is only scratching the surface. The founder of the modern practice of Yoga Nidra, Swami Satyananda Saraswati, developed and systematized the method in the 1960s as part of the Bihar School of Yoga in India. He took ancient references to yogic sleep found in the Upanishads and Tantric texts and turned them into a practice anyone could follow. He described Yoga Nidra as a journey through distinct steps, which in short consist of 1. Settling the body, lying down comfortably and withdrawing from external distractions. You lie down, usually in Shavasana, with your arms and legs relaxed, eyes closed. The goal is to become physically still. You might hear instructions like, let your whole body sink into the floor, just dropping everything and surrendering to the ground. 2. Setting a sankalpa, a short personal intention or resolve planted into the subconscious mind, something like, I remain calm and steady in all situations. I am already whole. I trust the unfolding of my life. It is repeated at the beginning and again at the end, when your mind is most receptive. 3. Rotation of consciousness. Systematically moving awareness through different parts of the body. Your attention is guided through different parts of the body one by one. It's fast-paced, not to think, just to sense each area, like right hand thumb, second finger, third, right palm, wrist, elbow, and so forth. This builds body awareness and helps disconnect from external tension. 4. Awareness of breath. Feeling the natural flow of breathing as the mind settles deeper. You don't control the breath, you just observe it. Feel it flowing in and out. You might be asked to count your breaths backward from, say, 27 to 1. 5. Awareness of opposite sensations. Experiencing pairs like heaviness and lightness, heat and coolness, pleasure and discomfort without reacting. You're guided to feel contrasting physical or emotional states. For example, recall a time when your body felt very heavy. Now imagine feeling light like a feather. This helps release unconscious tension and teaches you to witness feelings without getting caught in them. 6. Visualization. Gentle guided imagery, often symbolic, to access deeper layers of the mind. The guide offers images or scenarios, sometimes abstract, sometimes symbolic. It's not about forcing a mental picture, just letting the mind watch. For example, a calm lake, a burning candle, a temple door, a vast starry sky. These symbols can steer deeper parts of the psyche and clear emotional clutter. 7. Reinforcing the sankalpa. Repeating the intention when the mind is quiet and receptive. Now your intention returns. Repeat it again while your mind is calm, open, and impressionable. It goes deeper now, like planting a seed in rich soil, like I am already whole. I trust the unfolding of my life. This is the classic, widely taught Satyananda system of Yoga Nidra. But over time, different lineages have adapted the practice in their own ways. For example, the Himalayan tradition, rooted in the teachings of Swami Rama, places more emphasis on breath awareness, prana flow, the life force energy carried by the breath, and inner silence rather than detailed body rotation. And in the West, there is I Rest Yoga Nidra developed by Dr. Richard Miller, a trauma-informed version used in clinical and military settings. It simplifies some steps and focuses more on emotional resilience and nervous system healing. You'll also find variations in Tantra-based schools, Kashmir Shaivism-inspired approaches, and meditative lineages that blend Yoga Nidra with sound, mantra, or energy work. But at the heart of all of them, the core idea remains the same: staying aware as the body falls asleep and reaching deeper layers of consciousness without losing yourself inside the dream. We will dive deeper into these different traditions and how they are practiced today in a later video. For now, think of this as a short introduction to Yoga Nidra.